Ever since I was a kid, I've definitely been fascinated with nature. I like to hike, I like the water. Something about nature just kind of drew me to it, and the peacefulness, just being able to get away. And as I got older, water really started calling my name, whether it be fishing at the local pond or going out to a river and hanging out with friends. The more and more I grew up, the more I wanted to be out on the water. And it's kind of always fascinated me how you can go out on a lake, and depending on if you're in a cove like we're in right now, or you're out on the main body of water, it can feel like totally different universes. And that change in scenery just always keeps it interesting and fresh in my mind. And every single time I go out on the water, I know it's going to be a good experience, and I also know it's going to be different, and that's what kind of keeps me coming back to it. My earliest memories I have is when I was actually out on the water with my dad, and it's not a memory I actually have, it's a story that was told about me because I was too young to remember, but it was the first time I was fishing with my dad, and we were out on a john boat, and he cast my rod out to the shore, and then he cast it and he handed it to me, and was like, "Here, fish this." And apparently about 30 seconds in, I got bored, reeled it in, and turned around and cast it straight out in the middle of the lake. And my dad was telling the story to me, and he was basically like, "I was gonna grab you and say, look, the fish are on the shore." And I was like, "Nah, I'm just not gonna worry about it. I'll let him do his thing." And he said about a minute later, I was out there in the middle of the lake, and I was like, I got one. And like a little 3-pounder came swimming out of the water, jumping out of the water, and he said he was just mind blown right there. He was like, what the heck, this kid obviously has something going on for him. And from then on, I think I wanted to go out and fish. And as I got older, in middle school, I had a best friend who lived on the water, and I would go down to his house every single day after school and fish. Whether he was home or not, I was fishing in his backyard. Most of the time, we'd go fish for a little bit, and then we'd build forts in the woods or something. But I fished probably 6 or 7 days a week, and I caught my first citation largemouth on a 3-inch topwater popper, and I've still got the popper hanging up in my room. And it was just seeing that big fish come up and nail it, catching my first state citation. I got the whole certificate framed. It's still in my room. That really lit a fire underneath me to keep on fishing and chase bigger dreams, because after I realized I got that, I was like, all right, well, I want to do the next citation. I want a smallmouth. I want, a striped bass. I want a bluegill, a crappie, etc. And so I really started to realize there was a lot more to fishing, especially not just on that little pond I was fishing. There's a ton of different lakes, and there's a ton of different species. And that really opened my eyes a little bit to see that there's so much more that you can do out here, and kind of drove me to expand my horizons. As high school went on and I started fishing more and more, I kind of wanted to be competitive about it, but I didn't quite have an avenue to go about it. I didn't do quite enough research, and looking back, there's definitely ways I could have competed back in high school, but I didn't figure that out back then. But I did know when I went to college, I was going to be on a bass fishing team. And the colleges I was looking at, a few had teams and a few didn't. And I ended up going to James Madison University, which didn't have a team at the time. And freshman year, I knew I wanted to start a bass fishing team. And so I ended up connecting with another guy Blake Miles, he's now my best friend, and a few other select people, Cooper and some others, who really put together the team our freshman year. And from then, it's just exploded. The opportunities that fishing on a team gives you is just, it's amazing. You get discounts from companies that truly want to support you. You get to meet amazing people, travel across the country and fish, bodies of water that you would never have the opportunity to fish anywhere else or any other time. I mean, I actually went up to New York and fished the St. Lawrence River for bedding smallmouth, and I would have never done that if I wasn't on a bass fishing team, or if I didn't branch out and meet new people. And it's opportunities like that that, bass fishing teams on the college level really give anglers, and it allows you to just expand as an angler. One of the things I really want to tell other anglers who are in high school, coming to college, or in college right now who are still on teams or thinking about joining teams is don't pass up the opportunities to meet people. We have great opportunities to meet people, to connect with them, to create lasting friendships, and some of those friends are going to be best friends for your life. I've met a bunch of great people when I was up in New York. Blake, one of my friends, is flying up to New York to go fish with some kids that we met up there. It's just friendships like that that you don't have another way of making. And then meeting great companies. When I was vice president and sponsorship chair of James Madison's team, we worked with a bunch of great companies, and one of those companies is Missile Baits. And through talking with them and creating a good connection, I was able to reach out to John and be afforded the opportunity to intern with Missile Baits this summer. That opportunity has just shown so much into what the industry is really like. As a college student, I'm on the fence between going into the fishing industry and then what seems like the real world, because they're just so different. And John has really given me a phenomenal opportunity to see what the fishing industry is like. When we go to ICAST and we work with other companies, you realize that all these guys are down to earth, and all they want to do is have a great time, support people they love, and at the end of the day, have a good business. And working with that and seeing what the fishing industry is truly like is something that will, open your eyes. And so then you can realize, hey, being a college angler, I don't have to go work a 9 to 5 at a desk every single day and be bored. I can go in the fishing industry. I can make those connections. And when I get out and I graduate from college, I can go to a job that I am psyched to take. And being able to meet John and have this opportunity, it just makes me so happy, because I know in 1 year when I graduate James Madison, I'm going to have a job that I enjoy, because there's no way that I'm not taking a job in the fishing industry.